also known as Jessica Kringle, and I taught a workshop at the International Santa Celebration teaching how to do makeup for Christmas performers. So Santa Jim has agreed to join me. Thank you so much.
Hi guys.
And we're going to do a little bit of a makeover so that I can teach you how to apply male makeup for camera. Okay, so Jim has already washed his face with just a balancing cleanser, and we're going to go ahead and apply a toner on over that. That helps to close the pores a little bit so that it keeps them nice and small for you. What I like to do is, I don't like the cotton balls. This is just personal preference because they absorb so much of the product. So I just take baby wipes and cut them into smaller pieces. And then I'm going to let you do this. Go ahead and just wipe your face with that in the areas that you've already cleaned. Doesn't sting, it's not an astringent, it just helps close the pores a little bit. And then we'll follow up with just a little bit of hydration. So I'm going to again go ahead and give this to you to go ahead and put on the areas of your face that we've just washed and put the toner on.
It dries fairly non-greasy too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really
nice
good stuff. Alright, so our next step is to apply a little bit of foundation. Jim's got great skin here, so he doesn't need a lot. He doesn't have a lot of the age spots and those kinds of things going on. I've used a lot of different foundations in my time. I'm not a big fan of the liquid foundations. I feel like they're cakey, like they take those wrinkles that I'm trying so hard to hide and sort of fill them in and make them look worse. So I love this cream foundation by Jafra Cosmetics, and it just goes on really nicely. It covers thoroughly. It's not as thick as a theater pancake makeup, which is really thick. For those of us who've used that, we know that that can clog the pores pretty badly. But I'm going to put some of this on and show you how that can look. Okay, so we're going to just take a little bit of this and put a light coat.
Jim asked a great question about the applicator. Jafra's cream foundation comes with its own sponge applicator, but I was using one of the triangle applicators from the department store because they're disposable. I also needed to remind him to relax and not wrinkle up his forehead, otherwise we wouldn't get a full coverage of the foundation.
Okay, so one of the challenges you have as Santa is that you've got this beard that you have spent all year taking such great care of, making sure it's in perfect shape. And if you've ever used the powders,
then you know that the powder dust from a loose powder or a pressed powder can get on your beard or on your blouse, as it were, if you're a female. So one of the ways I know that Santas have protected themselves from getting that powder dust in their beards is by putting a plastic bag over their ears and draping it across their beards, or putting saran wrap around their beards, or some kind of cloth to make sure that the dust doesn't fly down. Jafra's come up with a solution to that. They've created a 2-in-1 cream powder that's just a little bit creamier than your average pressed or loose powder. It still has great coverage for the protection of making sure you're not shiny for photographs, and that it helps keep the sweat under control just a little bit. But the dust doesn't get everywhere.
Alright, so we've applied just an even coat of the powder. Now, the next thing you're going to do is apply a little bit of blush, because Santa's cheeks are like roses and a nose like a cherry, right? Now, blush also usually comes in powder form, so that's one of your challenges, is making sure that you don't get especially that reddish pink we want for the rosy cheeks and everything to not get all over your beard and in your eyebrows. So Jafra has a cream blush. I've seen a couple in the stores. They're a little bit harder to find, but there are a few of those products out there. You want to find yourself a cream blush. Okay, so when you're applying your cream blush, what you want to do is, first of all, give us a great big smile, as big as you can. All right, see this little round part right here? That's called the apple of your cheek. So you're going to go ahead and apply, big smile, your blush on your apple of your cheek. Okay, And then you want to go ahead and give it a little clean off just on the tip of your nose, just to give it a little bit of, color there too. Now, the one thing that a lot of people forget at this point is blending. And at the ISC, I had everybody in the classroom go blend, blend, blend. Repeat after me. Blend, 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 blend. There you go. Because right now he looks kind of like a clown, like he's got, a circle there. So then what you do is you take some of your powder, or the cream powder that we used, and you just kind of go over it again with a little bit of the powder still on your applicator, and tap it in and let it blend. And then you've got a nice natural look to your rosy cheeks. And we're going to blend the nose just a bit too. There you go. And you can see I'm going to only do one side for now so that you can see the difference on the two sides. Another thing that's really important to keep in mind, any artist is going to tell you that there is a difference between brushes. It's really important to go ahead and not get yourself brushes from the Dollar Tree or from the cheapest section of, whatever department store you're using. You want to get yourself some good quality brushes because it will make a difference in how that makeup applies. Same way it would be for paint if you're an artist. Okay, so you can see the difference between the two sides. It's not that we're trying to make him look like Tammy Faye Baker or anything, or Mimi Bobek from the Drew Carey Show. We're just trying to add a little bit of color so that he looks great in those photographs. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is a little bit of work on the eyes. Now, again, we don't want Santa to look like me. We don't want to have green eyelids and all this pretty stuff, but there are some tricks that you can use to make sure that you get those eyes looking open and wide and, as great as possible, especially since as we age, gravity pulls down those eyelids just a little bit. There are ways to make them a little bit brighter. So one of the things that you can do is you take pure white, or it can have a little bit of shimmer to it, and what you're going to do is put a little circle just on the center of the eyelid. And again, we're going to do one side so you can see the difference. So you want to make a circle right where the eyeball would be. All right, so the next thing that you want to do to get those eyes looking big and bright and open is take just a little bit of your cream blush and put it on your eyebrow bone right here, just under your eyebrows.
Close my eye.
Aside from using the great brushes, I love to use my fingers as well. Not only am I a hands-on kind of gal, but the natural oils in your fingers will help set your makeup. So don't be afraid to experiment with different techniques that work best for you.
All right, so you can see how that just kind of lifts everything up and opens Jim's eyes just a little bit more, makes him look brighter and merry, and even with the glasses on, that'll make a huge difference. You don't want to put on black eyeliner, but you do want to do something just to bring out your eyes a little bit more as you're going through. So we're going to take a brown eyeliner, and most of the women will rub and put a full line. You don't want to do that as a man, but you want a little bit of color, so you're going to put dots. You're going to dot it. So what you'll do is look up, open your eye and look up. Just a couple of little dots. If you're not used to this, I know it can make you want to jump. Okay, just a little bit. Yeah, and go ahead and blink. It's not going to hurt anything. When women do mascara, we put a lot of mascara on, but for a Santa, all you want to do is set the brush right in front of you and just blink once or twice. And that's going to give you just enough mascara to darken your eyelashes a little bit without making them look gloppy so that they'll show up better for the camera.
All right, one of the questions that I've often been asked by other Santas is what about your lips? Okay, putting some color into your lips.
Okay, well, as you can see, your lips are mostly covered by your hair, your facial hair. But the other issue is that if you put on any color on your lip, you're going to stain your beard. That beard that you've worked so hard to take care of, and you don't want to do that, right? So you want a chapstick, definitely, something to keep them moisturized because you're going to be talking for a long time and working, but I wouldn't do anything with any color because you run that risk. And And again, you really can't see them very well, so
Very good.
that works. All
All right.
right, thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank you. The last step that we'll have for making sure that Santa looks his very best is just whitening those eyebrows just a little bit. I purchased these products from Ben Nye. Ben Nye is one of the premier makeup for theater work and people who do, movies and videos and stuff. I have very dark eyebrows, and I bought this white eyebrow pencil to put on my eyebrows, and I'll be really honest with you, I'm not very thrilled with it. It just isn't working for me very well. So we're not going to use this on Santa either. What we will use is the Ben Nye Snow White hair color. Now the hair color is what I primarily use to make sure that these pieces that sneak out from under my wig aren't my dark auburn hair, but are white. But I also use this on my eyebrows. So I'll show you how that works. You want to give it a shake, and then it comes with this little brush. And so I'll use their brush to apply this. And then I use a very cheap, very stiff brush and just sort of rub that in a little bit. It makes it not look gloppy. Gets a little bit on the skin. And helps cover all of your hair. And then we'll just do another little bit on the bottom there. And you can see the difference between the two eyebrows now. And then you can go ahead and touch that. You can see that it's not, it's not quite dry yet, but it's not going to be stiff or...
Beautiful.
It's, it's not disgusting like paint would be. And then the very last thing that you want to do, because you're going to be wearing this for a while, because you're going to be moving around, having kids with you, possibly touching you, hopefully not sweating too much, but usually a little bit in that great fur suit of yours and stuff. You want to put a finishing spray on there. It just kind of holds everything in together. Now, I tried the Ben Nye finishing spray and it burned my skin. It didn't burn it, but it burned when I put it on. It didn't feel good to me. So I love the one by Jafra Cosmetics. It's really great for my sensitive skin. Jim says that he has sensitive skin also. So, and what you do is it comes in a spritzer and you just kind of give, close your eyes, a couple of spritz. Whoops. Didn't warn you. And that will help set all the makeup, because it was a powder, even though it was a cream powder, it's still a powder. When it dries, it sets everything on there so that it doesn't flake off later. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. And if you have any questions, you can find me, Jessica Kringle, on Facebook. Thank you.